Hello, hello, Geminis. Thank you so much for joining me for your May 2021 reading. This will be for the first couple of weeks of May. Whenever you're vibing with this energy, hopefully, most of you know how tarot and energy works. We're going to jump right in. All right, Geminis, let's see what you're vibing with. Beautiful. This just came out. This energy just came out for, I do believe that may have been Leos. Okay, so we see you doing some emotional work, some emotion, delving into your emotions, some things from the past, uh, or potentially somebody coming back from your past of a water sign during this time, Gemini. But we do see you being in your emotional emotions and working on some things that make you feel better and trying to feel better during this period about the emotional state of your life, and just kind of delving into things of the past. I'm really getting a past energy, you thinking about happier days off of this card for you. Um, and on a superficial level, some of you Geminis are going to be doing some significant shopping right now, potentially for children or yourself, but for occasions, for some sort of an occasion. But also on a deeper level, you feeling very emotional during this period and working on balancing your emotions during this period. That's how you're coming into the beginning of May from April. It's emotionally triggering for you in some kind of a way. But the good thing is you have the Ace of Disc here. So this is beautiful, grounded earth energy. You have something you've been working on in your emotional life that's going to lead you to some sort of a abundant new beginning, some sort of a abundant gift from the universe. It could just be the love that you give to the people around you, bringing in prosperity and abundance into your life and a new beginning, a new start financially for you, or something emotional that you're working on or someone around you is working on is bringing in prosperity on a grand scale, a large amount of income coming in during this time for some sort of a emotionally related endeavor. You could be emotionally attached to school. You could be emotionally attached to the job you currently have, emotionally attached to family, emotionally attached to a business, a side job, and we see these things bringing in prosperity and prosperous new beginnings for you during this time, or someone in a water sign assisting you and bringing in prosperity. But we see this being a good time for you Geminis to start lucrative new beginnings. If you're thinking about going back to school, starting a new project, taking a new course, this would be a good time because it's going to turn out to be lucrative for you. If you are thinking about investing, this would be a very good time. It's going to turn out to be very lucrative for you. So just things like that. That emotionally tied to your finances being very lucrative for you. This could be something as simple as maybe a child has graduated from college and now you're not paying, tuition. Things like that bring abundance and finances and into your life on a large scale, a scale that you can give and grow with. So that is beautiful, beautiful energy to start out with for May for my Geminis out there. Beautiful, beautiful energy. I mean, come on. When I see this three of wands in this deck, I know that you were sacrificing. You've been emotionally sacrificing, probably physically sacrificing of your finances, and now the universe is rewarding you for being virtuous, for putting your feelings and your emotions and your needs aside to do what was best for those who you love, and you're going to be rewarded for it. This is beautiful energy. This is that rescue energy. You've put yourself out there to help others, to save others, to assist others, and the universe is going to bless you financially because of it. And it looks like these sacrifices that you've made in these different aspects of your life for my Geminis out there in the past or the recent past, these things are going to pay off. Many of you could have up to 3 children, but you see abundance coming in for you and your household. Potentially in the form of threes, based on what you've done and the prosperous steps you've made to put good karma out there. We do see it coming back during this time frame. This is beautiful, beautiful energy. This emotional work is paying off. These emotional sacrifices are paying off that you've made, Gemini, during this time frame. This is excellent, excellent energy for new projects as well. I should mention that. And just on a low, low aspect, just, keep your eyes on candles around your homes, incense around your homes. Make sure you turn pots and pans and ovens and fireplaces and barbecues and things of that nature off. And they're off for sure. Okay, just on a little aspect. Okay, so we do see some manipulative energy that was around you, or just some cutthroat, kind of straightforward kind of energy that was around you. You could have even had to exhibit this energy in an emotional circumstance in order to stand your ground for your family, your friends, your home, your money, and things of that nature, and let somebody know you're not playing any games and not to, try to take advantage of you or create a scenario that doesn't exist. It looks like you've stood up for yourself, or you're going to stand up for yourself, for your family, your loved ones during this time frame for my Geminis out there, and it's going to be prosperous for you. We see the finances coming in and blessings for this virtuous work that you're putting out into the universe. The universe has your back in whatever the situation is. And again, it seems to be emotionally and financially tied. And although I don't have children in these cards, I did get the energy for some of you that some of you have up to 3 children or up to 3 grandchildren that are somehow involved or would benefit from this situation. Yeah, but some of you had somebody in the background telling not the truth or manipulating a situation. It could have been a boss, an employer, a manager, anything, anybody. It depends on your own circumstance and your own timeline, but it looks like that's coming to a resolution. Looks like you've done some emotional, spiritual work, came to some conclusions, and figured some things out. Wisdom, figured some things out. Again, okay, Geminis, it looks like you've come to some conclusions, you've made some changes about your living circumstances, your emotions, your money, your finances, and situations that you were involved in, potentially with an air sign. And it looks like these changes that you've made, this wisdom, these lessons that you've learned, are going to be able to grow you in your finances in an abundant way and can seriously contribute to the stability of your home. And it seems like this information that you have taken on and taken in, these are lessons that you're going to pass down to your children, to your family, your friends, your loved ones, the community. You've learned something really significant. You've completed something super significant in your life, and it looks like you're going to benefit, that you and your family and your loved ones are going to benefit financially from these emotional cycles, these emotional lessons, and these changes that you've implemented into your life for my Geminis out there. And again, now we see the children presenting themselves that I mentioned earlier, but this could involve your entire family, your children, your legacy. This could be legacy wealth and legacy changes. Okay, we see the shadow side. Again, just doing some spiritual work during this time, addressing some things in the past so that you understand how to move forward. Why negative things or things you perceived as negative happened in the past? How do you confront them in the future? How do you balance your good energy with your darker energies? How do you balance the information that you bring in on a daily basis? How do you know what to take in and what to leave? This is you really delving in, or beginning to at this time delve in and really uh, race towards wisdom and knowing yourself better emotionally, spiritually, and physically, so that you can create firm foundations, and so that you don't have to deal with manipulative energies moving forward, so that you do learn from the past and learn how to implement the dark with the light, so that you can move forward in a very balanced way, in a very lucrative way. So we see you moving towards these new cycles, moving towards the end. The 1 and the 8 breaks down to a 9. So we see you moving towards the end of this cycle, some shadow work, potentially dark night of the soul, but moving into ascension, ascending to some prosperity and abundance after some shady things happened. Some shady things happened in the past for my Geminis out there. It caused you some financial and material changes. But whenever we see this card in this deck, we know that, it's typically a passing energy, especially in the position that it's in. But we do see 2 5s here. So we know that this is something that affected your foundation and affected your money. But we see that the universe is saying you got blessed changes. You got the Ace of Discs. It was the second card that came out. So we know that these financial and material changes coming up for you after you had to deal with some manipulative energy or manipulative air sign, that these changes are going to be beneficial, because we saw the Ace of Disc there come out, and we saw you do the virtuous thing. We saw you operate within your integrity, and you learned, you gained your wisdom, you addressed your shadow side and your issues, that you could move forward abundantly for you, your family, your children, and whomever may be involved. And it looks like that's going to pay off because you got the Ace of Pentacles here. So let's go ahead and move forward for my Geminis out there, singles and couples, and see what's happening in your love life, your romantic life, and just love around you. See if there's anything you need to work on or be aware of. This looks like a really lucrative time after some hard times for you, from a Gemini out there. You've had some struggles emotionally, uh, with family and friends and just people around you, shady people. And now it looks like that energy is resolving itself. And you've also worked on yourself, because sometimes we get defensive, or we feel like we have to attack the attackers rather than like return the energy to sender. We sometimes have to be the hand of karma, but it looks like you've balanced out a lot of that energy, and you're moving towards completion into a prosperous cycle. We see the changes coming into your household and that prosperity coming in now, so that's fantastic energy. So let's go ahead. Children, yeah, many of you, most of you Geminis that are watching, you have children. And this situation is very important to you because it is your legacy. These are your children. It is important for you to break cycles and give your children opportunities you may not have had, or just give them a stronger foundation, a foundation you may not have had, to show them nurturing and love and support that you may not have had, and give them the things in life that you weren't able to receive potentially. So we see you being the catalyst to break a lot of family cycles and create new stories and new legacies for your family moving forward due to all the shadow work you've done and all the sacrifices you've already made for my Geminis out there. So we see children being very important for many of you right now. Relationships taking a high place of importance during this time. Many of you uh, could have gone through a divorce recently, or maybe recommitting to your relationship after some financial struggles and difficulties that could have had you on a rocky foundation. And you really had to check with yourself and check with your higher self and see if this was a romantic relationship that you wanted to remain in. And so we see a lot of you guys just kind of moving forward with your children and your spouse during this time, after some ups and downs, having learned a lot, moving into a financial period where you're going to be more blessed and abundant for your family very soon. So it looks like these changes are going to be happening very quickly for a lot of you Geminis during this time frame. It looks like you quickly learned some things. You're going to be moving through this energy. Some of you may be moving homes with your family as well. When this new money, when this Ace of Discs come in, some of you guys have been married or just really like committed to a situation. Maybe you've moved on from dating and now you're committed to be a boyfriend and girlfriend and things of that nature. Maybe you're moving on, depending on your life cycle and where you are right now, to having children, finding out that your children are be delivering very soon, so you want to get married, and just things of that nature. It's really going to depend on your own individual time frame and your own life cycle. For my Geminis out there, you would know much better than I would, but this looks like a very uh, nice new cycle coming in after you've had some challenges with your family and with your relationships around you, particularly those of you who are married, having some challenges. And it looks like things are going to be resolving for many of you in the way that's going to be most beneficial for you, your family, and your legacy. That is beautiful energy, Gemini. It's not much more we can ask for. So we're going to move on to Kuan Yin and let her go ahead and wrap up your reading with the energy that ties everything together. And for my Geminis, you have the gates of heaven. All beings have an ultimate spiritual destiny of happiness and freedom, yet some can become frightened of divine love and believe they will do better to hide from it instead of moving towards it. Sometimes we need to help beings find their way to the light by holding peace and unconditional love in our hearts as we pray for the good that all creatures deserve. again, this is beautiful. This ties in you being virtuous with this three card, you doing the shadow work, you making sacrifices for your legacy and your children. This is a beautiful reading, Gemini, and it looks like the universe is very proud of the progress that you've made, this self work you've done. I didn't see a tower moment here. It looks like you came to some serious conclusions about your spiritual life, your family, your kids, your legacies, and what you want, the family you want, the kids you want. And it looks like you're moving towards these things. So be prepared. Very soon, you're going to have some rapid changes in your finances and in your relationship circumstance within your household. So this is beautiful, beautiful energy, Geminis. Thank you so much for vibing with me today and coming to share some good energy with me. I really appreciate a thumbs up. If you have questions or comments, please leave them below and share those good vibes with me. Thanks so much. Make sure you subscribe. I'm Bri, and I'll see you very